Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for inviting me here. This has already been very worthwhile with the 2 lectures we had so far. Like Martin said, I'm from Rotterdam and responsible for the things we do with the contemporary heritage and community participation. A little bit for you who are not familiar with Rotterdam. Did I skip this? Yes. It is not such a big city as Berlin or New York, but for Dutch understandings, it is the second city in the Netherlands. It has now maybe 650,000 inhabitants, and the city region has 1.2 million. And in this inhabitants there are 176 nationalities, and half of them aren't born in the Netherlands or their parents aren't, so it makes Rotterdam a very diverse city. Here it is. It's a port city, and the most of the inhabitants live, of course, on the right side for you, and it is somewhere here situated in the Netherlands. This has been our home for a very long time, for more than 100 years. It was, the building was the only survivor of the bombardment in the Second World War. A 17th century building with its own atmosphere, and for us it felt more and more difficult to tell the story of the contemporary city of all Rotterdamers in this building. So, and also looking at our collection, which grew very much by gifts of more wealthy people, we saw it didn't really reflect all Rotterdammers. So we tried, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we started to restore these unequal representations by going into the city and do all kinds of projects, because when you want to collect a contemporary city, it is about choosing what to focus on. You can't keep everything, of course. So we started this heritage project, focused on a more equal representation, and soon it developed in participatory projects, because who were we to say what to keep and what not? Rotterdammers were the persons who knew best. So it was intuitively growing in co-curating, creation. We are doing it together. And these projects we did in the neighborhoods, they really dramatically, I must say, changed the way our museum is working at the moment. When we, let me do a step backwards, looking at the historic collection, we try to value the historic collection using anchor points of transformation. So we look at the history of the city and we group objects around these transformation points. For instance, quick industrialization or the World War. These were massive transformation in the city, and we make that in the story we tell important anchor points. Looking at the contemporary city, we try to see what the most important transformations are now, and of course growing diversity is the focus, is the red line we are following in our museum. This growing diversity, looking back to the projects we did, we recognized actually the diversity in the projects. And some themes came up which were very important for us, and we wanted to present them in a new museum building, because I forgot to tell you, the old building where we were for a long time, we closed that like 5-6 years ago, and we were wandering around in the city without a building, and then this year in February we entered our new building. So identifying and mapping diversity themes, we came to these themes: the sustainable city, population pressure, really challenge the city to work on that. Arrival city, which is also, of course, very much city of labor. Transnational city, lots of people in Rotterdam living with different cultures at the same time, embodied in themselves. Care city, or maybe I must say caring city, I don't know exactly. But care takes a really big role now. People are getting older, and loneliness is a very, very important challenge in Rotterdam. And the innovative city, all these questions, of course, needs innovation from all people working with it or living in the city today. I can tell you about lots of projects we did, but I want to focus today on the projects we did with the Bulgarian Rotterdam community. And I'd like to introduce you to Carmen, and I will tell you a bit more about Carmen. We met Carmen through a project we started in the early 2000s, because we wanted to know and to learn more about the Bulgarian and Polish license plates we saw in the city appearing. And we were very interested about these migrants coming from the east of Europe to Rotterdam, and how this integration process was developing, how they found houses, how they found jobs. And we really wanted to have the personal view of this community. So we started a project. We set up a construction, at a construction site, we set up a lunch canteen. And we recruited a Bulgarian construction team to work on a building, which was what was going on then. And we had lunch every day with this construction team. So, and during the lunch we learned a lot about their lives, of course, and we found out that they didn't really, of course, it wasn't really their priority to know about Rotterdam. So we learned them about the history of Rotterdam. We set up a little exhibition in the lunch canteen, and we learned to know, well, their habits, their reasons why they were in Rotterdam, and what their plans were. And as you can imagine, we all grow a bit bigger during this project. We also recruited a Bulgarian cook. Well, this is her actually, the Bulgarian cook. Yes, but we really got very familiar with their families, their friends, and their lives in Rotterdam. And we got lots of family photos. This is the boy in the front is Carmen, when he was just a little boy. On the right side is Carmen when he was a bit older. And here also, this is all in Montana, where he comes from in Bulgaria. So back to the construction site, we collected lots of things, workwear of course, and we used that in exhibition we had on location in the city, and this is the workwear from the Bulgarian construction worker. What we learned from Carmen very much is that his integration process was very much supported by the church. And well, in Rotterdam, secularization has removed lots of churches. And to learn from Carmen that this really helped him was for us an eye-opener, and we looked differently to other communities. He is a member of the Seventh-day Adventists. He was that in Bulgaria as well. And when he arrived in Rotterdam, for him, a little step was to go to this community, and they helped him very much with a job, with a place to live, and with his first steps in the city. So we decided to, in an exhibition, to pay attention about the role churches play in the past and now in the way migrants are integrating in a new city. We also investigated how it is working in the rest of Rotterdam. So this is a Roman Catholic church which was out of order for a long time and now is really a dynamic place for a Polish community. Now back to our new building and how these projects are inspiring us in this new building. This new building is by architect Rem Koolhaas. Lots of light, steel, concrete. It is not all our museum, by the way. It's only the ground floor.
The ground floor.
Yes.
But it's not a shopping center.
No, but it has pretty much that atmosphere. So you can imagine we were wandering around, how do we have to make a museum in this? This was quite, and it's still quite a challenge. But then again, back to this themes, we focus on the themes, and in the project we found people who embody these themes in their lives. And we decided to put them as statues on a plinth in a museum and tell the stories about these themes through them. So what we did is we made 3D scans, rendering of them, and then at the end we printed them, and the bigger sizes was 3D milling of the statues, which was quite a big challenge to do. It worked out well, I must say, and now we have those 5 statues in the museum today. I can introduce them. This is Zeynep. She is a daughter from Turkish labor migrants. Next to him you see Kamen. You already learned to know him. Marco, he's there for the innovative city. There you see Joyce. She's from the Antilles, for the caring city. And to the right, this is Max. He is very much embodying the sustainable city. Through Kamen, because really important work, part of the work of museums is collecting and taking care of the collection of the city. And we did, of course, through this project. But collecting the contemporary city is sometimes a bit difficult thing, because how can you steal objects from a still dynamic community. We had this problem with Kamen's van. He told us that this van was for him a very important object, because he used it always driving from Montana to Rotterdam. And for him this journey was the way he discovered Europe, and his idea about Rotterdam started to exist in his head. He always says people are smiling more, the roads are better, nature looks greener. I doubt that, but when I come to Rotterdam. Here you see his van. We already used it in some exhibition, but then we thought, well, this van really embodies all these stories about migrants coming from the east of Europe to the west, because he also used it very much to go back and forward when he didn't have a permit yet. And we thought we would like to keep it in our collection, but we don't want to steal it from him, so we started a new way of collecting, and we call it the active collection. I've got to skip this for a while. I will come to that back. We call it the active collection. And as you see here, the non-active collection is in our depots. really waiting for a new exhibition. But the active collection is still in the city and is still being used by Rotterdammers. This was our first object in this collection, and they marked it himself. It's authentic Rotterdam heritage. And this was after the job is done. You see, eating and drinking plays a very major part in working with different communities. And this were all the people taking or leaving Rotterdam to Bulgaria again. They were going with 3 cars or something. So this is their year, and this is in Bulgaria where this van is now. So this gives us a way to follow this object, because it is a part of our database right now, but it needs to be periodically needs an input from where is the van now, who is using it, why, etc. So a very useful tool in getting to know the developments of this community. And now I go back a little bit, because what we also asked Carmen to do is when he goes back from Montana, Bulgaria to Rotterdam, make a road movie of his travel, because for him it was such an important journey. And he did. We gave him some lessons in how to film, how to work with the camera, and then in the end the film was shown in the exhibition. It is no longer, the van isn't in the exhibition because it's in use, it is used by Carmen right now. I would like to show you as a, this is also what we do in the museum right now, is inviting all kind of groups which for whom these themes are a part of their lives, and we discuss all kind of insights, all kind of things they are confronted with their lives in Rotterdam, and we try to use that as input in the museum again. I would like to end with a little film. It's a little part of the film Carmen made, and it is nice to see. Oh.
Dit is mijn gas. Je weet het, toch?
Ja. Nu staan wij op de brug.
Nu staan we op de brug. Het is een soort markt voor tweedehands spullen, zeg maar.
Oké, van Duitsland en Nederland, toch?
Ja, gewoon West-Europa.
West-Europa. De meeste mensen van Montana wonen in Duitsland en Nederland, toch?
Ja, zeg maar, zijn verhuisd naar daar.
Ja, voor werk.
Voor werk, ja. Voor beter.
Hier hebben ze weinig werk.
In Montana wonen er ongeveer 50.000 mensen. En op dit moment de helft, dus 25.000 ongeveer. Heel veel mensen zijn weggegaan. Zo is niet zo makkelijk. Hè? Dus het is niet makkelijk in een busje te instappen en wegrijden. Dus, ik zie mijn toekomst gewoon in Rotterdam. Natuurlijk is het heel belangrijk dat ik ook werk heb. In het begin was ik straatkrantverkoper geweest, zeg maar. Ik verkoop straatkrant bij de supermarkt. Daarna heb ik een beetje werk gekregen bij de stichting, bij de Pauluskerk. En daarna begin ik met eigen onderneming. Dus ik werk in de bouw en ik ben zelfstandig ondernemer.
Ja, zoiets met visum. Zegt daar, kan men. Dus.
Oké, hier gaan we in Montana verlaten, zeg maar.
Vanaf hier is geen Montana meer.
Ja, hier naar rechts. En dan pakken we die weg naar naar de Vidin, dan ga je hier merken dat die weg is echt slecht. Die zijn de armste kant van Bulgarije. Zeg maar Noordwest-Bulgarije. We zijn een beetje van verbouwen, maar het gaat niet zo snel. Dat kan ik helemaal niet vergelijken met Nederland.
Dus als je rijdt van Bulgarije naar Rotterdam, zie je ook hoe die mensen veranderen, zeg maar. Blijer mensen zie je. En ook hoe die landschap veranderd is, hoe de weg beter is en mooie auto's en ja, gewoon licht, overal licht en dit en dat.
So this is the end of the film. Well, this is basically my story of how our museum is working with different communities and how I enlightened the Bulgarian community in Rotterdam very much embodied in Kamen. Of course, we're working with his whole network and family and friends. For us, this long-term coalition with those communities is really very important because it gives us a very good insight in how their lives in Rotterdam really function, and it gives us also the possibility, to collect and to work on how to collect on these communities. So thank you very much for your attention, and